Hey guys, welcome back, and today we have another week of grosses, so let's get into it. Up first, and Juliet. And Juliet went from 89% to 96% and 812K last week to 983K this week. A much needed improvement for a show that is very much on its last legs. As you guys know, and Juliet has fallen significantly in the past 2 months, and obviously they're relying on stunt casting, which means that, if a show is stunt casting, it's, struggling. Getting Charli D'Amelio to come in at the end of this month. I don't think it's going to be closed like this time next year. I think it'll still be here, but the basic summary is that & Juliet is in its final couple of years, and we're starting to see a slow decline. Back to the Future went from 75% to 79%, and 709K to 976K. Obviously, this is Back to the Future's best week in a long time, but again, I think it's a little too late as it has lost money for like the past month and a half, and I do think it will still close at the end of this year. And if I'm a producer, I'm like, ooh, are we back in the game? But you're not, because I looked at the advanced sales for this upcoming week, and it is not looking great. If they want to make as much money as they want, I think they close in December. Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club went from 86% to 92%, and 938K to 1,054,456. Again, I think this will close in March, as I think they're not going to necessarily say, oh, we should continue this, because it costs so much money, and this is a step in the right direction, but at the same time, I think that it needs to make way more money than what it is currently making in order to justify it extending, and I don't see that happening at the current moment. Hadestown had a much better week, going from 95% to 97%, and 706K to 853K. Hamilton went from 92% to 98%, and 1,675,734 to 1,965,127. Harry Potter had a much needed win, going from 84% to 89%, and 948K to 1,255,314. Hell's Kitchen went from 97.59 to 97.46, and 1,389,251 to 1,427,937. Moulin Rouge, in its final week with Aaron and JoJo, had a spectacular end, selling out and going from 1,381,461 to 1,642,967. Six had a much needed comeback, going from 81% to 90%, and 688K to 883K. Six has not been doing super hot recently, but I do think it is such an inexpensive musical to put on, and it has recouped its investment, that I think it can easily take a year where it does maybe 5s and 6s. Obviously, again, that doesn't mean it's doing good, because it wouldn't be, but it can take those hits. But I don't think it's going to close anytime soon. Stereophonic went from 96% to 98%, and 784K to 808K. Suffs, which has announced its closing in January, as I predicted, went from 77% to 90%, and 679K to 767K. Obviously, Suffs never did horrendous, but I don't think the numbers it was producing was enough to justify taking that huge risk of January and February, when a lot of shows tend to do the worst at the box office, although that has changed in recent years. And while it did do a lot better over the summer than even I predicted, making $1 million, having 8s and high 7s, I think it needed to make $1 million for the entire summer in order to justify it going past the end of this year. And it's a smart move, because they could continue to extend, but I think they would end up having super bad numbers. So it is a justifiable choice. Sunset Boulevard is a mega hit, going from 93.44 to 93.13 for 7 performances, 1,075,922 last week, and 1,291,902 this week. The Great Gatsby continues to be a mega hit, going from 85% to 94%, and 1,049,793 to 1,271,486. The Notebook continues to fail, and that's closing in November, going from 79% to 84%, and 605K to 677K. The Outsiders made almost half a 2 mil, selling out last week and this week, going from 1,405,119 to 1,502,467. Water for Elephants continues to fail, and that's closing in December, going from 61% and 656K to 70% and 763K. And then finally, Wicked, which had the best pre-advance sales for a movie that's PG, had an amazing week at the box office, going from 99.58 to 99.53, and 2,046,098, 2 million to 2,486,411. And so I do wonder if the Wicked movie will boost box office, and I think it will. So those are the grosses for this week. Overall, a pretty fantastic week across the board for all the musicals. And again, I think my opinion on pretty much everything hasn't changed. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.